What's Happening Hoke show is filmed before a live audience and is brought to you by Rockfish Motor Speedway, the Rock of Hoke, nunboys.com, and GPS Photography and Video, GPS Photo and Video.
What's happening, Hoke? We're back. This is July 30th, 2015 at the Rockfish Speedway U-Haul building, 2950 Lindsay Road. Glenn Young beside me, Hal Nunn here by the left shoulder of Glenn, and we're getting ready to continue with our news. We were talking in the earlier segment a little bit about gun safety and gun violence and mental health. But I was mentioning the mental health. You had a point you wanted to make on
well, the whole thing about it is like we don't find out about the mental health until after the incident has happened. Right. And the tracking mechanism that's in place. Bottom line, it comes down to a thing. If you know someone, you know, when you talk about when everybody's talking about report stuff to the police,
right? You
see something, say something. If you know someone out there that's got it, you know has a mental history.
Like the dude from Charleston?
Well, we can go all the way from Charleston, go out
Louisiana, Sandy Hook.
I mean, on and on and on. It's a recurring thing. And then a lot of them using that as a defense. You know, all of a sudden you didn't have mental health problems until then. The great American, well, the great American that went out there on 4th of July weekend, geared up, tacked down, AR, walked into the mall saying he's doing a photo shoot. And then, okay, so if you're doing a photo shoot, why did you have ammo?
I don't know.
So when they hit the ammo, then, you know, try to hide behind, oh, this is my Second Amendment right. That was a story that was going on too. And bottom line, when you hear those 7 famous words, in that you did, on or about, out on the carpet, it's going to be over. And it's not double jeopardy as well. So at some point, it's one of those things like, you know what, maybe this is not a good idea. Even if you want to say, hey, this is my Second Amendment right, and I'm going to make a point, you go to a mall on 4th of July weekend, probably not too smart.
There's a thing called common sense. And I was listening to a gentleman talking the other day. You know what he said? He said, Hal, do you know what PC means? What do you think it means, PC?
Personal courage.
No, well, some people say politically correct.
Yeah.
But this guy said it's not, that's all changed now. PC is plumb crazy.
Yeah.
And some of these people are plumb
then it came out that, oh, well, he may have had some mental issues. Really?
Yeah.
Really. So, I mean, I hate the fact that people try to hide behind them when they get in trouble, when they know they're going down.
That's like sometimes some of these people to get in trouble, they automatically find Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm glad if that led you to that.
Some truthfully.
If that led you to Jesus, hey, good thing for it.
Murder.
But guess what? We're going to put this needle in your arm while you're going, and you're going to go on to judgment. You're going to sin.
All right. What else we got news? I got a few of them.
It just bothers me behind the mental health issues with that.
That's
the guy in Denver, the Denver theater shooting, he's up. Hopefully they will give him the death penalty. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about it. They got his mom on the stand who's pleading, hey, do not kill him. Had I known, she put it on the mental health doctor. Had he told me,
right,
you know, that he was suicidal or homicidal, I would have done something about it. Well, that's good on Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I just don't have a problem saying it. Let's ensure the death penalty and enforce it. You know, it's some of the people need to get it. I'm sorry.
Hey, let me mention something that I went to the other night with our local sheriff. You know, he's been on the show before. He's talked to us. He's a gracious guy. He's just been installed as the president of the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. Right. So congratulations, Sheriff Peterkin. He was also awarded the Order of the Longleaf Pine, which is the highest order that you can get in the state of North Carolina, and it was introduced by Governor Terry Sanford of the Terry Sanford Bulldog fame.
Wow.
Anyway, congratulations, Sheriff Peterkin. There was 500 people or more, including Larry Long and Brownie and folks went down there. So congratulations to the sheriff.
Yeah.
He is the Hoke County Sheriff. He still will be. And he is now the president of their association for North Carolina Sheriffs. So hopefully he can get some things done in there. In this week's paper, we get you a local news journal. And we got a couple. The ACs we talked about, the sheriff we talked about.
Hey, I got to talk about this.
What's that?
And it bothers me from the standpoint, you saw the thing with Hulk Hogan this week. You know, Hulk Hogan made this racial tantrum statement
way back
8 years ago. Came back to haunt him, and that's the world that we live in. You're in social media. Once it comes up, hey, your job is gone.
Yeah.
But what bothers me even more so, there's a divisive movement, I believe. And we talked about this week also, someone saw fit to go down and put Confederate flags at the MLK Church in Atlanta. Okay, so you got these people that want to be divisive in their methods and stuff they do.
And it's on both
And then
sides.
you got the other people that want to go out here because, well, that's a Confederate monument. I'm gonna go
Kick it over.
Well, kick it over. Bright Black Lives Matter on there. As me and Earl talked last week on the show when you were in the mountains.
I read it though.
All lives matter.
All lives matter.
And so you got two people on the sides, on separate sides, that want to divide everybody else. And you know, it really just comes down to, we've talked about everything with the flag except the guy that killed those 9 people. You know, his act that he did. And so yeah, he posed with the flag. You know, hey, if you want to put the flag, Confederate flag on your truck and drive around town, hey.
If you want to hang it at your house,
but the issue that gets me is when you pick that up, every hate group also uses that flag. So you got to understand that what goes with that. So if you're guilty by association, there you go. The same thing, you can't say that.
I'm not saying they're all guilty by association.
Well, if you're guilty by association, because if you fly that flag, I'm not thinking that you're doing that because of your heritage. I'm thinking you might be associated with something else.
That's the way you think, though. But let me tell you this
hang on. I'm gonna bring it to a close. But like when he posed with a picture when he shot, well, you have minutes or 2 weeks, so what you got to talk about?
I got a whole list to talk about.
But here's my point. When you sit out there and say that Black lives matter, all lives matter.
I didn't say that.
And so you cannot. No, I'm just saying that's what the spray paint on the monuments. And so you're trying to have your own agenda and your own point to get this guy what he wanted, because one of the things he said is that there's going to be a race war, which is the most idiotic thing. I know that we progressed in the 21st century well further than that.
There are some,
but there's people out there. Well, there's people that's trying to deal with 2 things. There's people out there that's dealing with hate, and there's people out there dealing with hurt because of what happened back then, and they're just not going to change. But here's the thing: you need to come to closure with both of them. Whether you hate somebody that bad, because of the color of the skin or whatever, or you're hurt that bad because of the discriminatory acts that happened to you, it's time to get over it.
Well, people have to move forward.
Get over it and come.
And I think that anybody that flies the Confederate flag, first of all, you can't decide if that gentleman's flying it for his heritage or because he's a racist.
Nor can you look at me and say, well, he's black and he might be ready to rob me because he's. You know.
But that's that. But what I'm saying is, my father-in-law's great-grandfather was in Elmira prison. Okay. It's in New York. It's where the Union held Confederate soldiers captive. They starved them to death. It was diphtheria. They malnourished. They beat them. They mistreated them, and they buried them in the grounds with nothing. They just started burying them up there. It almost, mass graves. I've been to Dachau prison in Germany. And I'm telling you what, when I saw the story, I Googled it and looked it up, and I saw the similarities of Dachau and what Hitler did over there to what the Union people did to those Confederate soldiers in New York. So his great-grandfather was treated that way, and he feels that that flag represents the heritage of his family. And he's one of the nicest men I've ever known. He's a strong Christian. And so when someone says to me, because he's flying that flag, he must be a racist.
But then when
I think automatically they've assumed
on
something.
Facebook,
I'm not
on your
talking
social
about,
media,
he
and
don't
you
do
go out,
Facebook.
when you go out and murder 9 people, and they got that flag there.
You can't relate him to the man that did 9 people.
I think you can draw a conclusion to that.
I do not. No,
the conclusion is like, I don't know what you think. I don't know what's real and what's not. It's like people have the same thing.
It's just people like plumb crazy. You don't know if they're plumb crazy or not.
It's to the point of where you make it, when you make a provoking statement, like laying the flag, Confederate flag, at the MLK church in Atlanta.
Or when you go kick over the tombstone.
You knew what your message you were trying to convey.
It's a different group of people.
So I'm just saying, you're in a gray area. If you throw it on your truck, you ride up and down I-95.
I don't think so.
Well, for me, it does.
For you, but it's not your truck and it's not your highway.
No. But I am an African American living in America.
We should be equal.
I know that we should be. But you and I both know that's not the case. Unfortunately,
where are we not equal? I don't know anything that you get that I don't get, or I don't get what you get, other than know how to edit video.
Edit video, and you know how to go to the mountains. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But my point was, there are people out there that want to be separate and not equal.
And both sides show that.
And both sides show that. And I'm watching both sides.
Let's do some.
And the most critical word, as hateful as the N word is, the second critical moniker, the most hated thing is to be labeled as a racist. and nobody.
I've been called one, so I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I know what I am.
What made them call you then? What did you do?
Because I figured in our election cycle that we could have elected some people who had some better character.
And who called you racist?
I'm not going to call them out on the internet and on television.
Hey, you brought it up.
I'm just saying.
You said you've been called racist.
You brought up racist.
Who you said?
And
you said I've been called racist.
I have been called a racist, and I don't need to tell you who it was. That's between me and that person.
But you downed them out on the air.
They don't know who.
Do they know who? They know.
They don't know. They
They know who
anything. They got a problem, call me up, 964-0990.
And Hal just gave his personal number out there.
It's on the website.
I tell you what, we got a special guest coming up. Donna Brock for senior services.
Aging Outreach Services. It deals with senior care, and I've been very experienced with it over the last year and a half. And let me tell you, it's a mind-blowing minefield that you have to travel when you're dealing with your parents.
Well, we come back, we're going to sit down and talk to her. So we'll be right back.